What's going on, guys? Welcome to Game Time with Dylan Cattengill. Again, we have on Jake Quinn. We're going to be breaking down Henry Ruggs tape and what we think of the upcoming wide receiver prospect out of Alabama. This is Game Time with Dylan Cattengill. What's going on, Jake? Thank you so much for coming on, man.
What's up, DK? How you doing?
Good. So today we're going to be talking about Henry Ruggs, some of the pros and cons we saw on tape of him. And then we also got just a general highlight mix showing off his speed behind us. So here we go. We're going to get this fired up immediately. We got us in the corner, and this is Henry Ruggs. As you can see on the screen, 5'11", 188 pounds. This is coming from Just Bomb Productions, so shout out the guys over there for dropping this awesome highlight mix. And some of the things that are going to jump off the screen immediately for me are the all-time speed and what I would classify, and I don't use that word lightly, I mean all-time speed.
Yeah.
Elite to all-time acceleration. Jake, what do you want to touch on and how that, in like maybe a few player comps, or how you can see that transferring to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, every time he's on the field, he's the fastest dude on the field. And anytime you have the fastest dude on the field and you get him in space, like right here, he's going to make big plays. And so he can be just like Tyreek Hill in that role in the offense, or Deshaun Jackson, or, you know, that fast dude that when you get him in open space, he can make big plays and he can make long, long touchdowns.
I agree. One of the things that I also saw, and we're seeing it right here, but the way he runs, and you can tell that he's been technically trained by track coaching or, you know, whoever Alabama has doing this, but he runs so effortlessly. And if you look at his stride, it's so easy, and you can tell he extends when he needs to. It's so long, but the dude has excellent running form, and god damn, can he get going quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, look at when he catches that ball, how many steps it takes him to get going to full speed, 2 to 3, which is just absurd to me, how fast he can. It's not the fact that he can run a 4.27. The scary part to me is not even the 40 time. It's what you would call the 10 time, like the acceleration time.
Well, yeah, when he has these long touchdowns, he's like 10 yards away from the players by the time the play is over.
Some other things that jumped out to me when watching the tape is we actually just saw it on this play, but his hands are underrated, and I think his hands in one-on-one coverage continue to impress. Here we go with another example of that right there. And his tracking on mid-range and short-range throws is excellent. He was able to follow that ball in. I mean, here we go, the one-on-one coverage and hands. All hands brings it in.
Yeah, it's great.
You know,
got both feet in, too.
The way he tracked that in, that's excellent. And his people don't talk about it a whole lot because they got Devontae Smith and Jerry Jeudy and these guys that are known for hands, and he's, you know, the speed guy, but it's not like his hands are necessarily a liability out there. I mean, turn and use his hands on plays like this. Some other things that jumped out to me when looking at a guy like this is the amount of head fakes and stutter steps he uses off the line. And the reason I think they've coached him into this, and I agree with it, is because he's so deadly in the speed category that people are always worried about the burners, especially on slant routes, and getting busted open. So when he can actually just take just a jab or just a quick step or a head fake off the line to just give himself just a second of cornerback freeze or whoever's on the pressure, is huge for him, because that split second to him is 3 seconds to the rest of everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. And if he can do like that slight jab or whatever to keep the physical corners off him, like just keep their hands off him, that like makes his elite speed come out even more.
Yeah, because when you see that's an area that he does not excel in, is sometimes when physical corners want to bully him, he has a hard time, and it takes him a while to get loose and get going.
Exactly.
Some other pros, I'm going to keep going through pros right now and jump in wherever you have a point or something you see or additionally. But like I just said, the speed allows him to freeze cornerbacks with a jab step, head fakes, elite running form. And then another aspect that I just wanted to talk about, and I just wanted to hear your opinions on it. You may actually disagree, but I see Henry Ruggs being a potential punt returner and kick returner in the National Football.
Definitely. His elite speed, like I would be surprised if a team didn't do that at least his rookie year.
Right, and he gets going so quickly that, I mean, he just seems like an absolute threat in the returning game. Excuse me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's a weapon anytime he gets in open space. So return game is just an obvious step up for him.
Yeah, and then I'll be watching the tape right now, but one of the things that also shows high football IQ, and you actually don't see a lot of this amongst younger guys in college, or guys in college rather, meaning young guys as opposed to the NFL. But he plays with a great pace. And one of the things that I saw is his ability to stop and start and switch speeds. And this is something that I don't know, I liken it to a pitcher throwing a changeup versus a fastball almost, where he can take his defenders and it's explosive cut, and then they think, okay, he's running an in. He's, we got to jump on that. Or, you see a linebacker in zone ready to fall back on, the middle part of the field right there. But he'll slow it. It'll freeze everything, and it really freezes defenders. And then with that elite acceleration he has, it can even just be a slow step that can they don't know if it's a double move going up. It's amazing. And he slows and starts in such a way to get himself open over the middle of the field that it's just an excellent tool in his arsenal to get open.
Yeah, no, and you already touched on how his running form looks so effortless. And that's part of it. When he runs that effortlessly at like 80% speed, it looks like he's going 100% speed. And then all of a sudden he busts up to 100% speed, and then the dudes are already cranked up to their sixth gear, and they can't go with Henry Ruggs.
Yeah, and then before we hop into this athleticism, I also found him to be good on double moves a lot of the time. He uses his hips and his head fakes, as he does so often, to sell the move. And I think at the next level, he's probably a year or 2 years away from developing high-level double route moves. But I think that's something that's going to be added to his arsenal pretty quick with a good wide receiver coach. Mm-hmm. Jake, you found this video, and you wanted to show off his athleticism here, and I couldn't agree more. But I just wanted to give it people, when we're talking about athleticism, explosiveness, and high-pointing a ball, if you're concerned about a 5'11 guy going up and getting it, go take a look at this. This is Henry Ruggs III in high school. Again, we got it on Jake Quinn with Game Time. We're going over Henry Ruggs. This is a film of him doing some very, very athletic maneuvers in high school, to say the least.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So at 5'11, for those who aren't watching it, maybe they got the audio. At 5'11 in high school, this dude looks like a junior. He jumps off of going 2 steps, doing a 360 and dunking it. The next video is off of 2 steps, 2 feet between the legs dunk. So, oh my God.
The dude's athletic. I mean, it's in high school too. So.
The only other things that jumped out to me, and I'm going to big screen us back up here, and these are the cons. So, again, we're just running through the pros, which is all-time speed, great into screen passing and medium crossing routes, elite route not an elite route runner, good route runner, but elite running form, as well as good on double moves. Some of the cons, though, that do come up are using his body to catch the ball sometimes. I know you saw that on tape, Jake. What do you think about maybe incorporating his hands a little more into receiving the football?
Yeah, I mean, anytime we saw it a couple times in his tape throughout the 2019 season, but there are multiple times when you let the ball come into his chest, and whenever you do that, you're exposing the tip of the ball to just bouncing off your chest rather than just catching with your hands.
No, I agree. And that was something that, I thought almost – for a guy that seemed pretty advanced in a lot of football areas, that's something that he definitely needs to improve on. Sure. Another one, and we touched on it earlier, and I know you saw this, but talk about maybe an issue or two he had with beating physical or pressure corners off the line.
Yeah, well, anytime a corner that was more physical and stronger than he was able to get their hands on him, it kind of slowed him down because he wasn't able to accelerate and really feel safe in running as fast as he could. And so whenever they could negate his speed, he really wasn't the same player. So he really has to work on being able to either get stronger so he can fight off those physical corners or get quicker or something off the line so he can get around those physical corners.
No, I agree. And the next thing that I saw on tape that actually is based off of directly what you just said is when he has trouble with these guys that are pressing him or very physical large corners, sometimes he tries to get too cute with the jab steps and get too fancy and Instagram highlight and start, this way, that, what are you going to do? And sometimes I also see him take a lot of stutter steps. And this is something that, especially in the high-powered offense that Alabama had, it just didn't work. And here's the reason it didn't work. They got Tua, who has great reads, and he's got 3 other receivers to throw to, Waddle, Smith, and Judy. So he didn't – when Ruggs is over there fucking around and taking a bunch of stutter steps, it's it's taken too long. It takes too long. They're throwing it to somebody else. And you saw so often that he would actually get open, but it's bro, you can't get – you don't – 5 seconds later, it doesn't mean anything. And so I saw him getting a little too cute on a few of those. But like you just said, it was only with those physical corners that he kind of had a conundrum with being able to get off the line.
Yeah, exactly.
He's great at going and getting a deep ball because he's so fast. And I think people are going to be like, wow, this guy's a home run. This guy can be a home run hitter. This guy, he can really, you can throw, if you get him with Josh Allen, X, Y, Z, throw him the ball 70 yards in the air, he'll go run it down. Now, I agree with this. I think that his speed's going to make him a great deep ball route runner and catcher. However, At Alabama, I saw a lot more ability and a lot more comfortability in catching the short range and the medium range passes from Tua than I did going and getting the long ones. That's not to say that he couldn't go get the long ones and he wasn't comfortable doing it. This is a first-round wide receiver, people. We're not picking apart a high school guy.
exactly.
First-round wide receiver. It's just that in his short and medium game was better than his long game. And that's what I saw on tape a little bit, where he had a little bit – you could see Jerry Jeudy in his excellent route running, for example, just put himself in such a great position to catch the long ball while it was in the air and also isolating himself from the defender, whereas Ruggs would just rely more on his speed. And I don't think that won't work, but I think there's just a few other attributes of positioning yourself in relation to the defender on the deep ball that he could improve on to open up a few more catches for him.
Completely agree.
Okay. And then the other thing, I don't know, did you have a chance to take a look at Alabama versus LSU?
Oh, yeah, I did. I looked at LSU versus Alabama a little bit.
Okay. So I saw him have a little bit of trouble against zone.
Mm-hmm.
And he tried to split a zone or when the ball would be thrown and two dudes would be coming to hawk him.
Yeah.
And I saw a little bit of uncomfortability. I saw a little bit of lack of physicality. There was a play or two where I don't remember which DB it was. It could have been Delpit, but one of them smacked him and the ball came out. And it was just something where you could almost see it wasn't a comfortable, like, catch, bring it in, dink, dink, and, ball's out. And it's just something that he didn't necessarily feel comfortable in, catching a few hits and falling down. But aside from the slight lack of ability against excellent zone coverage, using his body to catch the ball and a few too many cute stutter steps, this guy's a top 15 pick. Jake,
he is.
Now, give me a team or two you could see him on. Tell me what you project Henry Ruggs III to be looking like in the NFL. If you have a player comp, do your thing. Just go at it however you want to. But what are you doing at the next level? And also, where do you see him potentially being picked?
For sure. I'll give him a player comp of Tyreek Hill. Like, he's –
wow, all right.
If he gets a little bit stronger, he really could be just like him as a player. Whereas teams that I can see drafting him, Broncos are realistic. I forget which pick they have, maybe like 10 or 12.
Yeah, they're right in there. That's a good call.
Yeah, I could see them picking them. I could see the 49ers potentially picking them.
I also see the 49ers adding him as a kind of a – I don't know what the word is, but a Batman and Robin for Debo, a guy that can go out and get the ball and, does some cut stuff. Yeah, no, I see him fitting with the 49ers better than a lot of people do.
Yeah. I really wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles decided to trade up and try to get Henry Ruggs, like top 15. I can see him doing it.
People are sleeping on the Eagles trading up for Ruggs. And to pair him with
Carson Wentz and Zach Ertz. Yep.
Yes. Yep. And, I was going for Carson's great arm. And like you said, they have a great tight end to split it up and,
exactly
take the double teams off. Yeah, I also could see him potentially fitting, and I'm not sure if a lot of people talk about this, but I see him fitting with the Raiders and Gruden's system.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what their quarterback situation is going to be. I think it could be Mariota. A lot of people aren't considering that, but if you go look at before they started doing a very run-heavy offense there with Vrabel in Tennessee, Mariota's a good quarterback. He's an NFL-level quarterback. I don't think he's the future there, but I think if you go get him a chance for 1 year, maybe two, to either prove himself or be that transition quarterback.
For sure.
Bringing in a guy like Ruggs, they got Josh Jacobs, and they can build a really good core of young skill players in Las Vegas. I think that's an interesting place for him too. But I agree. I see him being a top 20 pick. I see him being on the same level but fit-based as Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb. And if a team needs a returner, a home run hitter, somebody that they, like you said, think that they can develop into a Tyreek Hill style of player,
yes,
I wouldn't hesitate to say that he could be the first receiver off the board if teams see potential.
Exactly.
Yeah. Other than that, we're going to have a few more comparisons coming up for you guys shortly. That was Henry Ruggs. Up on the screen, I'll edit up a few of his pros and cons so you can take a look at it. In the description is going to be a link to the 2 highlight videos we watched. Jake, thank you again so much for coming on today, man.
Of course, yeah. That's fine.
All right, you guys know the deal. It's Game Time with Dylan Cattengale. Check us out. If you guys want to like and subscribe, that really helps out the channel. As well, if you guys want to leave a comment for any video ideas or things you want us to cover, that always helps us out. Thank you guys so much for watching Game Time with Dylan Cattengale.